the United States foreign policy. He also said the people who are holding this up should think long and hard, as he put it, about what kind of effect this is having and why America can't get its act together. So from around the world, you'd have to say that's the message that this administration is trying to present.
All right. Jill Doherty at the White House. Jill, thank you. Appreciate your reporting as well. You know, we have heard the bickering all week, but we're no closer to a solution. So let's hear what two congressmen have to say right now. Steve Cohen is a Democrat from Tennessee, and Jeff Denham is a Republican from California. Representative Cohen, I want to start with you. Your party says that they won't negotiate, that they won't compromise, but that's what politics is all about, right? Why can't we find a middle ground with Republicans here?
Well, we have found a middle ground. In fact, we found the Republican ground. The proposal on the budget the Republicans made was a $988 billion or $986 billion budget. The Senate wanted $1.02 trillion, and the president wanted a little more. The president and the Senate Democrats and the House Democrats agreed to go with the Republican number. We compromised and gave them what they want. They can't accept yes for an answer. Then they threw in, not only now do we want our budget numbers on the continuing resolution, but we want to take the most prized political accomplishment of the last 40 years from this president and this Congress and abrogate it, nullify it, interposition dripping from their lips without a vote in the Senate and without a presidential endorsement. That's not the way democracy is supposed to work.
Representative Denham, do you want to respond to that?
Well, I certainly have a different perspective, yes. And Steve and I are good friends. We work on a lot of issues together, but certainly when it comes to funding, this is a big issue. This precedes my time in Congress. 5 years since we've had a budget. That's what puts us into this position. We've passed a number of appropriation bills that continue to sit in the Senate. And so now we're in a situation where the Senate and the President are asking, just hand us over the checkbook, and then, by the way, give us an unlimited credit card. And now this President is one who campaigned and said $9 trillion was unpatriotic, but yet he's doubled that and wants an endless credit card, and we're saying enough is enough. Show us a plan. Let's work together. In the meantime, we all want to keep government funded, which is why we've done bipartisan bills to fund the military this morning, to fund all federal workers that are furloughed. We want to keep the government open. We want to open the areas of government that aren't open today.
Representative, but the fact of the matter is the government is still shut down for all intents and purposes. And you heard what
the federal workers.
You heard what right. And you heard what Representative Cohen said. He said, we're on Republican ground here. So if they have compromised...
That's just not true either.
Okay, so then listen, you guys you're standing next to each other, you're smiling, you're saying you're really good friends, then why the hell can't you work it out?
John and Nancy aren't as close as Jeff and I are.
That is true. I mean, there certainly is a lack of trust between, I think, party leaders in both houses as well as the president. The president, I believe, needs to get seriously engaged in this. You know, we ended up with this funding level that Steve is talking about. This funding level was sequestration that I don't think either party wanted, but it was the president's idea, and that's what we got stuck with.
You guys you're talking about funding now, you're talking about spending and all these things, but that's really not what the fight is over. The fight is over Obamacare. It's over health care. That's the reason that you shut the government down. So when you come on television, you come on CNN and other networks, you talk about other things rather than what you're shutting the government down for. The president has said you're not going to get it with health care. It's not going to happen. So why not present a clean bill and then work on the other things? Go ahead.
And let me correct it for the record. What we are holding on to right now, under this current funding level, under this short-term bill, we're not just going to hand over the checkbook. What we've asked for is an issue of fairness. The president said that Congress and congressional staff should not get special treatment. So we said, here's the bill. We don't want special treatment, and we sent that over to the Senate. We also said an individual mandate. Why are you going to mandate to individuals when you're making special deals for Wall Street and your other friends?
But you're not hearing me. I feel like sometimes I'm talking to a brick wall when I speak, because you guys are giving talking points. The issue is health care. That's why the government is shut down, and you keep bringing other things in it. The president and the Senate leader, they have said it's not going to happen. The Supreme Court has said Obamacare is constitutional. constitutional. It has been voted on by the House and the Senate. It is the law now. What are you not understanding here?
I understand it completely. I just ask you to look at the bills that we have passed and look at what we're actually fighting on. There is no bill that we're looking at right now to repeal Obamacare. I don't like it. I think it's bad for my district, but there is no bill. There is a bill, however, to make sure that Congress gets treated just as fair as the rest of the public. And there is a bill also on the individual mandate. If it's good enough for businesses, it ought to be good enough for the employees.
Why can't you guys work on that without shutting the government down? Why can't you present a clean bill that funds the government and then get together and work on something that you can come to some common ground on, instead of having people working without being paid, like those police officers who saved the lives, I'm sure, of a number of people when the woman in the car the other day. Why can't you do that? Go ahead, Representative Cohen.
I think we could come together on the medical device tax. That's a bill where a Republican point where I could work with them. And I think if we had it on a separate bill, which is the way it's supposed to be, and I think it could pass the Senate and the President could sign it, we could have offsets, which the Republicans generally want, even though they didn't want it in the bill that they presented to repeal the medical device tax. If we have a medical device tax with offsets, we could come to common ground. But that should be a separate bill, and the way the process works is the House passes a bill, the Senate passes a bill, and the President signs it or vetoes it. It's not one House and one part of one House that really is a House divided, I believe, dictates on hostage terms on what happens to the future of legislation in this nation. It's a constitutional issue.
That's the thing, Representative. Listen, many people think many Americans, obviously, you've seen the poll numbers when it comes to Obamacare. Many Americans think that you have a point, but they don't think that you have a point in shutting the government down and holding the American people hostage. So if you can work it out without doing that, then it would be fine, but that's what you're doing. And guess what? It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So why do you keep doing it? Why do you keep going up against a brick wall?
I would again ask you to take a look at our funding bills. Every night the President has come out and asked for new things. We've given him those things. We wanted to make sure we paid the troops. It was done on a bipartisan level. The President wanted to keep the parks open. We passed a bill to keep the parks open. Cancer patients, he brought that up. We did NIH.
You're still not understanding me. Open the government and stop holding the American people hostage. Work on the other things outside of that. Present a clean. It's not going to happen.
We're not holding the government hostage.
Yes, you are. You're holding. Okay, you're holding the American people hostage.
We continue to pass funding bills.
There is so much frustration from the American people about what you're doing, and you don't seem to understand that. Yeah, it's very frustrating. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
So tell me this. We've now passed a funding bill to pay all furloughed employees. Why won't they keep the parks open? Why won't they go to work?
Pass a bill that keeps the government open and stop holding the American people hostage because you're not getting your way.
We are not just going to hand over a checkbook or give a blank credit card on the debt ceiling. There are real issues with
we haven't even gotten to the debt ceiling yet. We haven't gotten to the debt ceiling. That's October 17th. That's not even here yet. We haven't even gotten to the debt ceiling.
President Reagan said it would be reckless and irresponsible for any political group to try to interfere with us paying our debt. We'll see how President Reagan's philosophy will fare.
President Obama, also as a senator, voted against it because he didn't think it was the right thing to do with that much debt. That was half as much debt as we have today.
Thank you, Don.
Thank you. I'm only voicing the frustration of the American people here. Thank you.